All right, everyone, welcome back to the second episode of the Spread Podcast. We're so pumped to be back this week. My name is Joseph once again. I'm here with my boys Christian and George. We got a lot to dive into today, so without further ado, let's get into it. First, we're going to start off with the MLB. It was a big game last night. George, what did you think of the Jays' performance?
That was fantastic yesterday. A lot of people were begging for the bats to wake up, and boy, did they wake up. Vladdy, Springer, a lot of big guys needed home runs. Jimenez even got a home run in the bottom of the order. That was absolutely fantastic. 13-4 was the final score. Now the series is cut down to 2-1. Game 4 is on tonight. Obviously, Scherzer is in tonight. What do you guys think of that one? Scherzer starting for the Jays tonight.
I'm a bit nervous. He was on the Mets just not too long ago.
I'm going to say, yeah.
It got some memories. Health is a major factor with him at his age, but I think if he can stay healthy, keep the pitch count limited, I think he'll do fine within the first few innings.
Yeah.
I do like him pitching because he has a lot of experience in the playoffs, but I also think there is that factor, obviously, with the health and with how long he can pitch. And we've also seen struggles with him in the later ends of the season, especially against Kansas City. I think he had a 7-run inning, I'm pretty sure, which was rough. But, I think he's a playoff pitcher, right? He's going to be hyped up. He's going to be, amped up to start tonight. So I could see him having a good game. And I also was hearing they might do a piggyback game. So have him pitch a couple innings and then let Bassett pitch the rest of the game.
I can see that happening too.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, they did bring Bassett out of the bullpen on Monday's loss to Seattle at home at Rogers Center. I'll be very interested to see how long Scherzer goes as well. I mean, again, this guy's a Game 7 World Series pitcher. He's a World Series champion, this guy. If you want anyone to pitch in a big game like this away from home on the road in a playoff game where you have to win, I don't think there's many other guys that you want with the experience of Scherzer on the mound. Of course, it's very intriguing to see how he does. Obviously, it could be a make-or-break game for him, and maybe not just for his Jays career, but for his entire career, because this game is absolutely huge for the Jays. Absolutely huge for the Jays. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, 2-1 the series right now. Game 4 tonight, as we mentioned earlier. You guys think the Jays win tonight?
I think they will. I think they will. I trust Scherzer enough for the first few innings, and just riding that momentum, it was not even close yesterday.
Yeah.
Springer hit, the whole lineup. I think if they can ride that momentum, I think they'll definitely tie up the series.
Yeah,
tonight.
I have to agree. I think they win the series. Seattle's a good team. I have a lot of respect for them, and I think the Jays are also a good team. I think this series could go 7 games.
Oh yeah,
I think it can go 7 games.
I think it will.
But I think the thing is with the Jays, once their bats get hot, it's really hard to stop them.
Right. Yeah.
Castillo is he's a world-class pitcher. He's one of the best in the league. We know that. In Game 1, he pitched against the Jays back in 2022, I believe, against them.
Yes, that was Game
back
1,
in the wild card. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And I think Castillo's a great pitcher, but it's going to be really interesting to watch the game tonight to see if the Jays continue their hot bats, because we know at the end of the season they were struggling a bit, but then they had a couple good games where they scored 10, 6, 13 runs, and then against the Yankees they were their offense was unstoppable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every game they had 6 runs at least.
Yeah.
So, or I think it was 5 in Game 4, but I think with the Jays, once they get their bats going, it's hard to stop them. Yeah. That's why I think they take the game tonight, and it's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be a really
as long
good
as the
game.
bullpen stays all right. It's not the bat; they're a batting team. It's just there's a lot of concern around that bullpen.
Yeah.
But
even last night, at the end of the game, I think it was in the 8th inning, they allowed 2 back-to-back homers from Arozarena and Raleigh, and I think the one thing is you don't want to let that continue into the next game,
right, of course,
right? Because then you're going to give them more confidence. Guys like Raleigh and Rosary,
I gotta say, I really don't like our bullpen. I really don't like a lot of those guys on the Jays.
Yeah.
Varlin, I liked at first, and obviously the Judge home run from last series. I mean, costly home run against was it the Naylor home run or was it the Rodriguez home run?
From game 2? Game 2, the Naylor home run was a 2-run home run.
And it was Varlin, I believe.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but most likely.
I don't remember, but basically Varlin has not been very good in the playoffs, and I just don't trust him. I don't trust Rodriguez. Obviously, was the one to give the 2 home runs yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
question marks in the bullpen. It's just a matter of when and if Schneider's going to go to the bullpen, and if he's going to go to it early on. And that's all depending on Mad Max Scherzer tonight. We'll see how he does
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
I want to move over quickly to the NLCS. Obviously, the Dodgers off to a strong start after winning both games in Milwaukee. The story, Christian, they're pitching.
Yeah, no. I saw some of those games, like the Brewers, the game one against the Brewers. It looked like they were going to lose it in the ninth inning. They were going to blow it.
That was very
Brewers were
close.
hitting, and their pitching closed it out, and they stole that game on the road for them. And they go in again in game two and win. Now they're back in Los Angeles, and I just don't think there's any team in the MLB that can stop the Dodgers. Their
Yeah.
pitching is that good. Their batting's that good. Their experience, they have absolutely everything imaginable. I just don't see them losing this year.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to envision that.
I do agree, but I think also with the Dodgers is that they're a really, really strong team offensively and defense, and they have experience.
Right.
A lot of those guys on the team have won a World Series. Mookie
Yeah.
Betts has 2 rings, one with the Dodgers and one with
That's
with
correct.
the Red
yeah.
Sox back in
Same with
2018.
Freeman as well. with
Yeah,
the
Freeman
Braves in
has 2, yeah.
2021, And yeah.
Like they have so much experience, but they're also all talented. Like they're not a bad team. It's not like they have like a bunch of 40-year-olds. They have like 35-year-old guys.
Yeah.
They have young guys too. They have Pajes. Snell is a great addition to the team. He's been out of this
Yeah,
world.
no.
So
Yeah,
good.
he's been
He
very,
played
very
really
good.
well.
Yeah, and
Unbelievable
then
game one for him.
I think the one thing that I had from game 1 was when Sasaki came in. He didn't have that great of an inning in the 9th.
Yeah, that
It was bases
questionable.
loaded, I think with 2 outs,
Yeah,
and Terang was up, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
And he nearly walked. No, it was and then but Trinan was pitching at that point.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah, it was Trinan.
They took him out.
They
Yeah.
took him out because there was just.
But
it
Trinan was
bad
able
for
to
him.
close it out. You know,
Oh yeah,
it was
I mean, he's
really.
one of the more premier, I'd say, bullpen arms in the
Yeah,
league.
but he's been struggling. He's been
Yeah.
struggling this year for sure,
Yeah.
and it's good to see that he's got his groove back. But man, LA they're a tank. I don't think anyone's
Yeah.
stopping LA.
They're a
You know?
dangerous
neither.
team. That's something we definitely went over last time as well in the
Yeah.
last episode. It's just so hard to beat a team like the Dodgers, especially going back to back. They have that championship pedigree and that championship mentality.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard for anyone to stop them. But yeah, I do think the Dodgers take it. You guys agree with me on that one? Dodgers take the series. You guys think?
Of course, they're 7-1 to start the playoffs.
I mean,
what,
I mean,
like
it's hard to beat
that's
Hey,
insane.
they did play the Reds. They
I
did play the
understand,
Reds.
but you can't fault the team for winning. At the same time,
Yeah.
a 7-1 start to the playoffs. When do we ever see that?
The Reds are a great team, but I think they're just too young
No,
and
they
they're
didn't have the experience,
inexperienced,
but still.
especially against the Dodgers. And it's unfair.
Yeah.
If they were
Yeah.
playing, if they were in the other wild card against the Cubs or the Padres, maybe they could have had a chance to win a game or two,
Yeah.
possibly.
Maybe a
But
game.
LA is, you can't match them up
No,
against
you
a team
can't,
like
yeah.
that, right? It's not fair.
Yeah,
But
it's tough for those guys, man. The Dodgers are just hard to beat. And
Yeah.
I think I honestly believe that this series could be over relatively quickly. I can see maybe 5 games. I don't.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's gonna be very, very hard for Milwaukee to take a game in LA.
Yeah.
And of course, those first two home games of the series were crucial for them to take at least one of them. And I just don't see it. I just don't see a world where they win 2 games, maybe even 1 in LA. I feel like the series gets done this weekend. I think it gets wrapped up pretty soon.
Really? Wow.
I want to move back quickly to the Jays and Mariners. Obviously, the game we talked about earlier, how important it is tonight. You guys have any serious predictions for that one? Who's going to win, and how many games?
Man, I could see it going either way, but I'm going to stick with my original prediction. I think in the last podcast I had the Jays going to the World Series to take on the Dodgers. I'm going to stick with that. Originally, before heading into last night, I was like, okay, they're done. They've run out of experience, but then they really showed up on the road. That's a huge momentum swing, and I think it's going to push them over the edge and win them the series in Game 7.
Really?
I agree. I think it's gonna be Jays in 7 because the Mariners have again, as I was saying, the Mariners have a great team. It's just I don't know when the Jays bats get going. I think it's nearly impossible to start because it's not like it's just one guy who's batting like Guerrero or Springer or Barger.
Exactly.
Who's
It's the whole
playing?
lineup kind of
It's the
thing, yeah.
entire lineup who's
Yeah.
walking, singling, getting a double.
Yeah.
You know, that has such an impact on the game, you know, compared to like maybe getting a home run here and there from your top 3 guys, right? So I think that's why I see the Jays winning. And also, you know, if they win tomorrow, they gain back the home series, the home
That's
advantage.
correct, yeah.
Yep.
Or
That's
if they win
correct.
tonight, sorry.
Yeah.
If they win tonight, they get that home advantage back because then they're
correct,
going
yeah.
back home for game 6 and 7. And that's going to have a huge impact on the series if they can win tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens. I do think I want to stick with my prediction from earlier. I am going to go with the Mariners to win. I kind of want to say 6, but my heart tells me 7. I just feel like these teams are the polar opposite of each other in terms of Seattle is a very very keen pitching and defensive
Right.
team, whereas we are more of a hit for contact, get on base, get but a whole lot of runs kind of team. And I feel like when you have two teams that are opposite of each other like that, but they both play very, very highly competitive baseball, I feel like it's just a Game 7's kind of written in the stars and it's kind of due to happen. And I mean, Game 7 in Toronto, Rogers Center would be unbelievably electric in that building. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I want to quickly move on to the NHL. Obviously, things kicked off last week, and obviously we're getting in the swing of it now. Who has impressed so far for you guys? We can talk about both teams and players. You guys can give me whatever you guys want to give me, but obviously, some teams have off to a good start. Some teams have off to a bad start. A lot of young guys have pitched in and have looked really, really good so far. A lot of old guys have pitched in as well. What's going on so far with the
Yeah,
NHL?
so I've seen a few players that have impressed. I'm gonna go with some goal scorers. There's Brazeau on the Penguins, who's averaging a goal per game right now.
Talk about coming out of nowhere, eh? for
Coming
that
out
guy.
Yep.
on
Out of
on that
absolutely nowhere.
second line for the Penguins, as although the bottom six has been non-existent, that second line, that Mantha Malkin line, Malkin always starts the season hot,
Yeah.
and then just having Brazeau on that line really like elevated Malkin.
How old is Brazeau?
Brazeau, he's got to be in his mid-20s. He
Probably
just
mid-young
came out of
20s, yeah.
nowhere.
Because that might-
Undrafted, came out of nowhere.
That might be a big
Undrafted,
piece for
yeah.
the Pens' future, you know?
I
It
could see
be-
that.
He could be a top 6 forward for the Penguins' future.
I think he will be. And also Dorofeyev, 5 goals to start. The hat trick in the first game against the Kings. That was absolutely huge.
But
And
he
then
had a big season last year.
He had a-
Dorofeyev.
he had a big
He had like a 36 goal year.
he was slept on. He
Yeah.
was around their 35 goal mark
Yep,
and
yep.
he was just slept on. But I think now with Marner on that team, just getting some extra playmaking
Yeah.
there, I think he's gonna have a huge
Is he
season.
on the top line with Marner? Is it Marner, Eichel, and Dorofeyev?
I don't know if he's splitting some time with Stone,
Maybe
the right
maybe,
wing?
Yeah,
but either way, that's
I
two
think
that's
he's
two great
Yeah,
passing options
Yeah.
to feed him the puck.
for my guys that have impressed so far, I think I'm gonna go with some Canadian teams. I really have liked the play of Scheifele so far. I think he's a great player. I think we all saw it last year, and I think this year there's a bit more incentive to it to playing this good at the Olympics, right? He
Yeah.
wants to make that team. He does. He didn't make the
Yeah.
Four Nations last year. Some people said he got snubbed. I think he was one of the guys who did get snubbed, but he's been so good this year. He's near the top in the NHL in points, near the top in goals. That was one of the things that Winnipeg didn't really do too well last year. If anything, was they had great scoring, but in the playoffs, they kind of struggled a bit with goaltending and scoring.
Yeah.
But I think if Scheifele can elevate his game to another level to be at like a 95 to 100-point scorer, that can change a lot of things in the Central. It
Yeah.
could make Winnipeg a top team.
That's what the Jets need because last year they struggled against Dallas and I saw it coming. I'm like, okay, come playoff time, Robertson healthy, Heiskanen healthy, they're not gonna beat that Dallas team. And
Yeah.
there comes a point where like you're over reliant on your goalie and you need like those stars to step up. So I think Scheifele can, but it'll be interesting to see. I think we could very well have that rematch come playoff time again. So he'll have to step up, obviously, with Nikolai Ehlers leaving in free agency.
Yeah.
Creates an extra sense of urgency.
And then I'm also going to go with, from your very own Montreal Canadien, Zachary Bolduc. 3 goals, 4 points to start off the season. What do we think of him? I think he's been a great middle 6 forward on that line with, I think, Gallagher and Doc. He's added some offense. He's a good player. He's strong. He's physical. He gets in the spots where people don't want to get in. And, he knows how to score goals too. He's not afraid. And he's a great power play addition as
Yeah.
well. I think he's been really good for Montreal so far.
No, I love that trade. Like They knew they were set at defense. Trade away Logan Mayu, bring in Bolduc, bolster that middle six, and he's going to be a great piece for
Yeah,
them.
listen, I mean, they may have found their guy. I don't want to jump the gun too early, but so far he's having a great start to the season, and they could be okay in terms of filling in that hole for that second.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
that's
still a
huge.
second line center hole, but I think that'll come up. I know Hage is in the
Yeah.
pipeline,
Right.
but it'll really take time to develop,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, the good thing is, I believe he's only 25, 26 too. He's still got a lot of career.
I
ahead of
heard
him.
there's a pretty
He's
good
very, very
second line
sturdy
center
starter as
maybe on the
well.
market from Pittsburgh.
No, I don't
Oh,
think
stop
he's
it.
up for trade. I don't think he's. I
Too
don't think he's
early,
up for
way
trade.
too early for this. We're only in October, man. I wish. listen. That'd be really, really cool to see. Obviously, I'm a Leaf fan. I would hate that, but never say never in the NHL.
If
Crosby's
it, if,
playing on
if
his
it gets
hometown team.
Crosby to the playoffs, I wouldn't be too mad because I feel like it's a shame if Crosby were to stay on the Penguins for the remainder of his career, and we've already seen him play his last playoff game 3 years ago. That's just not right for the sport of hockey.
Yeah, I agree. I think, in all fairness, though, you guys are gonna want the Pens are gonna want a lot from the Habs. Probably a couple picks, probably a prospect of like a decent caliber. So, they it's the ball's in their court. Let's just say that they have the leverage in this situation. If they want to get a prospect like Reinbacker or like a couple picks, they can do that because you know, it depends how much Hughes is willing to sacrifice for the future, right? To get Crosby and to compete with him. And it also depends on how good the Habs are doing later on down the line, right?
Yeah, that depends on.
We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. I honestly do believe that he'll retire in Pittsburgh just because
too.
obviously he continues to sign that $8.7 million deal every single year
Yeah.
with the Penguins. We're extending every single time. I just feel like it'd be very, very hard and it wouldn't make any sense for him to leave unless he himself requests, hey, I want to go win another cup. I want to go here. I want to go here, whatever, right? So many different possibilities. Obviously, a long way to go for him left, I think. Great player so far. We'll see. We'll see what carries on with
Yeah.
him. For my standout player so far for the season, I'm gonna go. I want to show some love to the younger guys, to the new guns. Actually, I want to give some love to Zeev Boom of Minnesota. There was a lot of hype coming out of Denver when he got drafted, and I like everything about this kid's game. He's got so much confidence. He's almost a point per game. I'm pretty sure already to start the season, and Minnesota are flying, and so is he. I want to give a shout out to Bennett Seneca as well on Anaheim. He's looked great as well. And obviously, first overall pick, Matthew Schaefer on the Islanders. He's looked really impressive so far.
yeah.
He's been
Honestly,
amazing.
I was iffy to see how he was going to do to start because obviously he's not playing top line minutes just yet. They're trying to ease into him the immediate jump from junior. He's only 18 years old. How is he going to develop and how is he going to work in that Islanders team? He's probably their best defenseman right now. Dare I say it?
I know, and it's insane because it's usually defensemen that take a while until their mid 20s. They hit their peak generally later than forwards. So there's a lot of questions surrounding how is he going to be at the pro level? He's looked amazing. He's already driving plays, making passes. He looks.
And and it's not just that, but he's like defensively, his skating is out of this world.
His skating.
His skating is insane. I remember there was a preseason clip of him back checking,
That was
and it was crazy.
absolutely
And he was just
incredible.
like bolting down the other side of the ice, and he
Yeah.
got him. And it's like, I think the one that's really interesting for me is Buyam because I remember watching him play a bit last year. I think it was in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he stepped up. I think he played a bit in the
He did get
playoffs.
signed in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Yeah, that's correct.
And I remember okay, this guy he's gonna be good. You could tell by the way he skates, by the way, there's just a emotion to the way he plays.
Yeah.
And I think Minnesota, they've never really had that guy on D to be that number one guy. Yeah, they had Spurgeon. I think Spurgeon was
but-
always good, and they had Brodeen.
Buham's a power play quarterback now.
more of an
Yeah,
offensive
now
player.
they have
that power play is
now they
lethal
have
now.
that in the future. Now, and when Buyam reaches his peak, now you have that with Kaprizov
Yeah,
and Boldy and Eriksson Ek, and that's gonna be
That's a
gonna
great
be a
power
good
play.
team. And I think that they're probably gonna land in the number one spot in the Central a couple times just
Yeah.
because of their star power, and they have a great forward core. I love their forward core. It's so underrated though. No one talks about it enough.
I mean, it is underrated, but Kaprizov's driving a lot of the play. I'd like to see like Boldy stepped up. There's been guys that have stepped up and helped out Kirill, but I think just in the bottom six they need a little bit more help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Tarasenko's done well to start the season, but they still need a few more pieces
Yeah.
to become like a top cup contender that could take on Florida or.
I'm very curious to see how they do the rest of the season and
Yeah.
what they do, if they do anything at the deadline. Because obviously last year they were fighting for the last wildcard spot and they got in there at the end. But there's a lot to be excited in Minnesota right now. For me, they're one of the sleeper teams I have this year that could make a run if all things go right. They stay healthy. They add guys
Right.
right at the deadline. Like, a lot of things go right for that team, and obviously Boom is a big part of that so far in his young career. Speaking of sleeping, the New York Rangers are one of those teams that have been
yeah.
sleeping with a capital S right now. They have been struggling to start the season. They can't even score a goal at home, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Rangers?
Awful start. You get a new start. You get JT Miller as your captain, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you should have a bit of momentum at the beginning of the season. And you start out, what's their record? 1-3? 1-2?
I believe they are either that or they're 2-3.
Yeah.
All I know is that they played 3 games at home, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
and
they've
they've
haven't
lost-
scored a
and they've
single
shut out
goal.
all
They've
of
been
them.
shut out.
They haven't
Who
scored a goal
have
at
they
home.
played?
That
They
is-
played the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Edmonton.
Got shut out. Got shut out by Stuart
Stuart
Skinner. And who else?
I don't know. I don't know.
But regardless, though, those
th-
two,
that is
Stuart Skinner and the Penguins being shut
inexcusable.
out against that at home.
Oh,
That's,
the Capitals.
That's
is the
already
team.
pretty
Oh,
bad.
the
Capitals.
Capitals, they're
Yes,
good, but
Capitals.
that's
But still,
inexcusable.
that 3 straight games,
Come on.
that's
Yeah.
inexcusable.
Look at
The
their
offense has
forward
to get-
core.
Yeah,
Look
I
at their
know.
forward.
They've
They have
been-
Zibanejad, Miller, Panarin. Who else? They have. They don't have Hedel anymore, do they?
No, Hedo's gone to
No, they have
gone
Cooley. They have
to
Will,
Cooley.
Will Cooley's
They have
been,
Cooley. He's
Will
been
Cooley
good.
stepped
though.
up.
He's been good. But and they have Fox as well on
Fox
defense.
contributing to the offense.
I mean, they did lose Keandre Miller, so that might have a little bit of an impact on it. But still, like,
Still, it doesn't excuse players like Panarin,
yeah, no,
Zabaj.
100%
It
agree.
doesn't excuse
They,
that whatsoever.
I have them making the playoffs this year.
I do.
Because I feel like they were going to have a bounce back season. But right now, they are not showing that. They need to step up.
Yeah,
If they're
I'm
gonna want
concerned.
to, if they're gonna want to make it in a tough East, the Metropolitan isn't as strong as the Atlantic.
No.
But it's still a tough division to make it. You have teams like Washington, New Jersey, and Carolina who are probably going to be the top 3 seeds this year. But the
I
thing
could see
is,
Washington getting that.
the thing
3
is
spot
now,
as
right
well.
now, you have teams like Ottawa and New York who are struggling, and that's going to open up more lanes for teams like Montreal and
Even
Columbus
the
and
Red Wings
Detroit.
have had a hot start.
The Red Wings have started
Yeah,
really good.
Impressive. Patrick Kane's playing well.
Yeah. Larkin's
and down
playing
the
pretty
line.
good.
Larkin,
yeah.
Raymond.
They only have 1 loss, I think, to Montreal.
Montreal, yeah.
Yeah, and they beat the Leafs twice. Yeah.
I don't want to hear about the Leafs, man. I was about to move on and talk about how we feel about our team starting the season, but I gotta say Detroit is one of those teams that they could be
Keep an eye on
on
them.
the sleeper
Oh,
team
yeah.
as well because they had a hot start so far,
Yep.
and they're looking great and they're looking pretty good considering in their centennial season as well. Looking good so far. What do you guys think about how's everything going for the Penguins so far? What are your thoughts about them?
Well, I was pretty impressed with the first 2 games. 2 wins. Starting the season 2, I'm like, wow, maybe we might be in the wild card mix. And then things took a quick turn. We lose 6-1 to the Rangers at home. And then this terrible game against the Ducks. We're up 2-0 early in the first. So I'm like, okay, we can beat Anaheim. Nope, sure enough, by the end of the period, the game's tied. And then at the last minute in the game, Parker Wotherspoon just shoots the puck over the glass. Delay of game penalty. Sure enough, Chris Kreider in the slot to give the Ducks the game-leading goal. And yeah, it's the same old Penguins after those 2 games,
Yeah.
giving up a ton of goals. Their bottom 6 might as well have not showed up to the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a long season ahead, but
Yeah.
we'll see
Still a
what,
long
we'll see what
season,
Dubas
but
does with this team.
It seems like
Later
they've
down the line.
reverted back
Yeah.
to last season's form.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I mean, what did you can't expect a lot.
I
Yeah.
can't, again,
Exactly,
we've had
yeah.
our time.
yeah.
Exactly.
Gavin McKenna would be nice.
Gavin,
but-
Oh,
Gavin
yeah,
McKenna,
yeah.
get ready for Gavin
I
McKenna,
think
man.
I think he's either going to Pittsburgh or to Buffalo. I don't. Maybe
Buffalo would need him.
maybe
Buffalo,
Chicago,
Buffalo
but
just needs.
I don't know. Maybe I think
Yeah.
Bedard might take the next step this year with Nazar and
will.
Teravainen. He might take the next step. You never know. He might get Chicago in a good spot. You know.
Yeah, but still, all those teams around the bottom five, it's all random, right? We all speculate like, oh, who's gonna finish last, but it's all
yeah.
like look at the Islanders.
Yeah.
They jumped
Yeah,
10.
yeah, they jumped.
You just never know.
You
There's
never know
certain teams that
exactly.
need it more, but
Exactly.
you just never know who's
Exactly.
gonna get the pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy to see what happens. with
George,
that.
how you feeling about the hometown team?
Maple Leafs. Listen, everyone's always in panic mode for the Maple Leafs, and it feels like every single game feels like 20 games have been played at one time because all the reactions for one simple game, just like it's crazy how Leaf fans are. I try to keep myself cool-headed. I try to keep myself, on the low with the Leafs and try to just see things out and not try to worry too much. We're only a couple games in the season so far. There's a lot of things that I like. There's a couple of things I don't like already. I gotta say, so far, I really like the look of Easton Cowan so far on the top line with Matthews and Marner. I know you guys are always you see what I mean. It already begins. You see, it already begins. A dilemma, Toronto dilemma here. But yeah, I like how he's looking so far. I think Matthews and Nyes without Marner so far are holding their own to start. I'm not very intrigued on Nylander so far, but again, we're only 4
He's
games
had a good
in.
start.
Not really.
He has 7 points.
He did score. No, Nylander doesn't have 70 points.
He has
No
6
way.
points.
Nylander, really? I don't think.
Yeah, in 4 games, that's a good start.
He
Come
had
on.
the empty netter against Montreal.
Oh, okay.
I need more goals out of him. I need more goals out of Nylander right now.
Hey,
That's
I
what
do
Matthews
remember he had
Matthews
that
has,
empty.
Matthews has 3 goals. 2 of those
Two
are
empty
empty
netters.
netters.
That's
Yeah.
true. But
So-
to be fair, in that last game, the last game against Nashville, he did play very, very well. I
Yeah,
will give
okay.
him that.
He had a
Okay.
good game.
Obviously, giving up that late goal in the last minute to Appleton in Detroit a couple of days ago, that was
was rough.
No, that
something
was-
to worry about. Our power play, we haven't scored a single power play goal yet. That's
Oof.
another concern I'm worried
Yeah.
about. We're also scoring the most goals in the league, even strength. So I don't know. It's a weird one for me, but again, it's early. It's how the season goes all the time. Early, you can't really judge a team based off the first couple of games of the season. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I know the Leafs play the Rangers tonight, play the Kraken on Saturday. Try to kick
2
off.
wins?
Try to end off the
2
home.
wins?
Hopefully, I'm hoping for 2 wins.
I mean, I think they could get the 2
Well, we'll
wins.
see. Speaking of playing pretty well right now, Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
I don't want to give them credit, but you got to give credit. Sometimes you got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
And the Habs are on fire right now.
Well, what can they say? Lane Hudson, Ivan Demidov, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Juraj Slavkovsky.
You finished?
I can go on for days. And we have more in the pipeline.
Would you like to name the AHL roster as well?
Oh, yeah.
You wanna-
I forgot. Raphael Harvey Pinard. There you go.
Oh,
No, he's on the
okay, there
Penguins
you
now.
go.
He's on the Penguins now.
He's there.
Alumnus.
I think he's on the Penguins, yeah.
No, unnoticeable.
I'm happy with the Habs. Really happy with the start. It's been a long time since we've had a good team, and with Price playing, it always felt like we were trailing, right? It always felt like we were on the edge of our seat, and now it feels like we can rely on the offense, on the
Right.
team itself, right? Like Demidov is looking so good, man. That game the other night against Seattle, he played so well.
Huge goal from him
That
late.
assist to Newhook at the start off, and then the goal was it's beautiful. And then there's so much to be excited about, and some things get covered, like Lane Hudson signing an 8-year, $8.85 million
Great deal.
deal.
That was shocking.
What a
deal.
bargain! My God, that just shows how dedicated the Habs are to winning and not to caring about the cap, right? Not to caring about how much salary they're getting paid. So I think that's really important, right? In Montreal, they're creating a good winning culture.
Yeah.
To me, that shows that the players don't care about the money. They just want to win.
That
They wanna
shows
do it for the
Hudson wants
fans.
to be there. He
Yeah.
absolutely wants to be there.
Yeah, and Dobson has looked great so far. Mike Matheson has looked good. Really good to
He's
start
looked
off.
good.
Penguins legend,
Yeah.
baby. Mike
Yeah.
Matheson.
Penguins legend.
Yeah. And Montembeau, a bit of a rough start, I'm not going to lie. I know Dobush is starting tonight against the Preds.
That's correct.
But I trust Montembeau. He had a good season last year. I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll eventually get back into form. And also, they re-signed 2 guys, Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, to 5 years, which I really like. I think they've done an amazing job.
I think
with the
Kent
Habs
Hughes is
this
a top
year.
3 GM in the league.
I think he's a top. Yeah, I think he is.
Like him and Bill Zito
Yeah.
are always.
I
I don't want to
making
admit it, but I
crazy.
agree
if
with
you
that,
if you're
yeah.
looking at it like
I can
this,
see that.
Kent Hughes, he modeled the rebuild to perfection.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs 3 years after they missed it, and then now they're obviously it's just the start of the season. We can't jump to conclusions yet, but they're starting off 3-1. A guy even like a leader like Nick Suzuki has 6 points, quietly 6 assists, leading the league in assists. So very quietly, and Cole Caulfield has had a strong start. I'm really excited to see this Habs team. We're young, they're strong, right? And it's just about getting the experience now. I think that they need a little bit more physicality maybe, and the second line center eventually will come. But yeah, I'm so pumped about the future.
Yeah,
of
the
Habs.
physicality will
for
come
them,
with
yeah.
age. I
Yeah,
feel.
I agree.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree.
They got a lot of things to be excited about right there in
Yeah.
Montreal. Everything's going well so far. Obviously, Hudson contract's a great, absolutely fantastic deal. I gotta take their hats off to them. And considering like Hughes and Lacombe both got 9 million, around the neighborhood of 9 million, and he got under
Yeah.
9 million
That's
for
that's
the
what
same
that's
term,
why it shocked me.
is absolutely crazy. Because
Well-
I'm not gonna admit it here. I'll just be blunt with you. I think Hudson's better than both of them, and I think he will
yeah,
for
end
sure.
up being better than both of them when it's all said and done. with both of
Hudson's
their careers.
he's a potential point per game scorer.
Oh,
I
no,
think
I've-
he'll
I've-
reach 90
yeah.
plus points. Like
Oh,
I,
100%.
what really
100%.
shocked me was Jackson Lacombe. Got no like Jackson Lacombe's been great.
How much
but
did he
he's
get?
not-
9
nine
million.
nine
9 by 8.
nine
I
by
think
eight.
it was 9 by 8.
Like I thought Hudson, okay, if he's gonna sign for 8.8, he'll get a
But the
4-year
Ducks have
term.
money.
Wait for the cap to go up,
Yeah,
and
so
then
retain
re-sign
RFA
again.
rights, exactly.
But the
And
Ducks
see
have
where
a
the
lot of
direction
money
of
to
the team
spend,
is.
right?
But he signed for that whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ducks do have money, and they also have to pay a lot to keep some of the players. It is a
Yeah.
high tax destination,
Yeah.
so that comes into
Yeah,
account.
very
That's
true.
a good
Very
point
true.
as
Yeah,
well. I
but
mean-
Quebec is as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's a good
Similar,
point
yeah.
too.
But yeah, that shows that Hudson wants to be there.
Yeah.
right? Like we said
listen,
earlier.
I'm not knocking the Hughes or the Lacombe contracts. I think they're still pretty good
Yeah.
deals considering how much the cap's going up and how good they are already at such a young age.
Right.
I just feel like the Hudson deal is like it's a slam dunk deal. I thought for sure, going off those contracts, he'd get 10 minimum.
Yeah.
At least 10.
There's no way.
I thought he was going to get 9.8 or 9.5. I thought he was going to get a bit higher than Dobson.
I was gonna
'cause
say,
Dobson's
I
at
was thinking 10 and a
9.5.
half. I was thinking,
I was
10.
thinking
You
10
gotta give him a
10
million
minimum.
more on
I
Dobson
saw
at
I
least.
saw
Considering, yeah.
something, and over the years, his market value will be at like it's a projection, and it's going to be between 15 and 20 million.
That's
I
crazy.
believe it.
and
because
he's
with the
getting
cap-
paid 8.8 million. It's crazy.
Yeah,
The
that's
deal is
absolutely
You
insane.
can add another good player
yeah.
for that.
especially
when
with the
you
cap
what
going
you've
up
shaved
probably
up
to
with
like
a good
120
player.
million, maybe
Yeah.
110, 120 in the next couple
That
of years.
remaining.
It's going to
6
change the
million.
game.
Yeah.
Kent Hughes has been something else his last couple of years, and hopefully he continues it. But I think there's something coming on next week that's also very important that we should talk about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
Exactly.
NBA season is starting.
NBA season kicks off on
Yep.
Tuesday night, I believe. Yes, it does. I have to double check right here. And we have our standing predictions for both the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Who's making the playoffs, who's making the play-in, who's not going to make the playoffs. And if you guys even want to do it too, we could potentially do our MVP predictions.
I
for the
think we
season
can.
too.
We can talk
or
about that,
potential
sure.
long
We
shots.
could.
Who might win it? Who may be in the conversation to win it? Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Who do you guys have to
Eastern
win the Eastern Conference, and who do you guys have in your whole playoff makeup for the Eastern Conference?
Ooh, well, I'll start. I think I have the Knicks. I really like Jalen Brunson, and they've got a bunch of role players.
Knicks,
and
Knicks top of the division.
I
of the
have
East?
them first in the
First in
conference.
East, eh? Yeah.
They're gonna make it work. The Cavs, I think those are the undisputed top two teams.
Yeah.
And there's some team. Bankero and Wagner, I think, will go off. So I have the Magic at third,
I
and
also
then
have the Magic at third, yeah.
Celtics. They're gonna have some injuries, but I still think they're good enough to get the 4th spot. The Pistons look pretty good with Cunningham. The Pacers, I think people had them a lot lower than 6, but I was really impressed with their depth in the final. Like Nemhard was good, Turner was good, Siakam, everyone showed up, Mathurin even. So I still have them at 6.
Really? Wow.
I still do.
That's bold for me.
I think that's a good take.
And
Really?
then
I mean,
I
I
have
have
the
them
I have
lower.
the Bucks and Sixers at the 7 and 8 spot,
Yeah, I can see that.
and then I'll round out my play in with the Hawks at 9 and the Raptors at 10.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think
too.
that's a good.
I can see
I
that too.
I'll move on to mine. I think that's a good list. I do have the Knicks at first as well because I saw a lot of them out of them last year and last postseason especially, and I think Mike Brown is really good coach for them. I liked what he did in Sacramento. I think he's going to bring a lot of good culture to the team, and I love Jalen Brunson. I think he's a great player. If he can just be more efficient, I think that team can be next level. I really like Cat. I think Cat. He had his best year last year.
Yeah.
He's a great player offensively. Defensively, he could be a bit better, but I think he's still really
But a
good.
monster rebounder.
And
Yeah.
and then
That's
also, the one thing that's what stands out to me with the Knicks is everyone is going to their prime. You have OG going
Right.
into his prime. Mikal Bridges going into his prime. Brunson and Cat are in their prime. You have those guys, and then you have a decent bench. Mitch Robb and Deuce McBride are both pretty solid players. But I can see them finishing first. And then second, I have the Cavs. I think they're a good team, but I think that injuries plagued them last year a bit more.
Yeah.
And, I think they have the best front court in the East with Allen and Mobley. I think that's
Yeah.
such a good defensive
That's
backcourt,
it's
man. It's
unbelievable.
so good. But then, this might be shocking for some people, but third, I have the Pistons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the Pistons are
Wow.
going to be really good this year, especially with
That's
last year they came sixth. Remember, last year they were sixth.
yeah,
We
that's
also-
that's
we
still a
also
big
only won
jump.
44 games, but
But
listen,
still,
listen.
I think they
Go
come
bold,
third.
man. Go
I
bold.
think they come third. I like Cunningham. I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's going to be top 10 in MVP voting this year. Cunningham, he's a great player.
I can see that happening for
People
sure.
underrate
that I
him
could
so
that I
much.
That
could
I can
see.
see.
They have
Them
Durant.
threes.
They have Jalen Duran. They have a good team, man. They have Harris still. I think they still have Tobias Harris.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a good team, man. And then for fourth, I got the Magic. I still think they're a solid young team. Fifth, I have the Bucks. The Bucks, I think they're going to do well. They're going to have a bit of a bounce back season. I think I could see them winning a couple rounds in the playoffs. And then six, I have Celtics. Seven, I have 76ers. I see them coming back up to the playoffs because I don't see many teams that are better than them when they're all healthy. They have Embiid. They still have Paul George. Obviously, he's not that great, but
Health's
Ty-
a huge factor for
but
them.
let's remember they have Tyrese Maxey,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is a great player. And they got the new guy VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be really good on defense and
He's a very,
offense.
very good player. Yeah.
And then eighth, I have the Hawks. I like the addition of Porzingis, and I think Trae Young is gonna take another step. And then ninth, Pacers. I liked what they did in the playoffs, as Christian was saying, with the depth and everything. But I don't know. I don't see them coming top five or top six in the East just because of the loss of Halliburton is too much. 10th, I have the Raptors. I think they're a good young team. And then rounding it out, I have 11th Bulls, 12th Heat, 13 Hornets, 14 Nets, and 15th Wizard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe it or not, I'm the only one here who has the Cavs retaining the Eastern Conference title. I just feel like they're just. I still feel like they're the best team on paper still in the Eastern Conference. I think the Knicks are very, very close second. I will put them in second. That's gonna probably flip back and forth. I think the
Yeah.
entire season. I don't see anyone else really coming close to them really in terms of the build of each of the rosters and regular season success. I just don't think it's going to be close between anyone else. Cavs, Knicks, it can go 1 and 2. It can go either way. I got the Magic 3 as well. I like that take from you earlier. I
Yeah.
think Wagner and Banchero are unbelievable players. They're critical. They're so underrated as well, and they've one of the best defensive groups in the league
Right.
for the last couple seasons now. And they say defense wins championships. We'll see how far they get in the playoffs this season. 4, believe it or not, a lot higher than you guys have them. I have the Sixers rebounding back.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting, and I hate the Sixers myself. I hate Embiid. I hate that Nick Nurse left the Raptors and went to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They got Lowry, of course. I just feel like there's no way it can be that bad for them again when you have Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, VJ Edgecombe, which I think is a great young prospect for them. I really, really like him out of college. Obviously, Paul George had a bad season, but there's no way, I just don't see this team being that bad again. Because, I don't know. I just feel like they're too good to be that bad again. Well, obviously, they got played with injuries last year. Maxey was out for a long time. McCain was out for the entire season pretty much. And B was out for more than half the games. I feel like they have something to prove, and I think they're going to bounce back in a weaker Eastern Conference. I have the Celtics at 5. I do think the loss of Tatum is obviously huge. But again, when you have when you have a backcourt trio of Simons, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown in this Eastern Conference with how weak it's been and how weak it looks currently, I'd be very, very surprised if they miss the playoffs or even stay in the play-in. I feel like they're just too good. Again, championship experience with those guys. I think Mazzulla's a great coach. I don't see them falling off too hard without him. Sorry. 6, I have the Hawks. I think the addition of Porzingis is going to be a lot better for them than people think it's going to be. Obviously, the key thing for them is
That's
health.
I
I
The
haven't
Hawks
heard-
at 6.
I haven't already had because listen,
I don't know. I feel like Trae Young can really carry that team like he just did a few years ago. They went to that conference.
Right, but
I don't know. I have a
Yeah.
lot of belief in Trae Young. It is
Trae
high,
Young's
but
Trae Young's a great player.
could
but
see it.
I don't know. sixth in the East.
It is a bit high,
Like
but like
above the Bucks.
it's
I have the
possible.
Bucks. Yeah,
You have
the Bucks for me
that-
have no one else apart from the thing.
Yeah.
It's really him and Kuzma.
True.
And
I-
Miles
I-
Turner.
I
don't
still-
like anyone else.
point.
I have the
don't
Bucks
like the
at I
roster at
believe
all.
7.
Yeah.
Giannis is just good enough to get them
I also
into the
have him at
playoffs.
7, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
With
I have the
Giannis,
Bucks
he
at
didn't get
5.
With
in.
Giannis, you get in.
But
Yeah.
that depends. Are they going to keep Giannis? Right? Are they going to?
That's a good
or are they
point.
going to trade?
I
This-
think
this-
they
this
will.
is- I
We
think- yeah, I think
talk
they'll
about
keep
this
him,
every year. These rumors like, oh, OKC is going to give up a
But
package.
this
Someone's
year,
gonna.
yeah.
I don't know. We discuss it like every year. and
Honestly, for me, it depends on how the season goes for them. If they're off to a shaky
Yeah.
start and they're in and
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
a play-in
yeah,
spot,
yeah.
then they may really
I
consider that.
agree
with
He
that,
may
I
consider
agree with
they,
himself.
that.
they'd have to be
But I
really
think that's
bad.
a possibility.
Oh, definitely.
That's a
100%,
possibility.
100%.
Now they don't have
100%.
number one. They don't have Dame. They only have what Giannis, Brooke, who's very old, Brooke Lopez, and then they have.
Lopez has gone to LA now. They have Miles Turner.
He's
I
got.
believe.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Miles Turner now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner.
Turner's
I
a
like
good player,
Miles.
yeah,
Miles
but for him
Turner.
as
I
their
like Miles
second best
Turner.
player,
Yeah.
it's a
And
bit
then they have
concerning.
Kuz. But who do they have at the
Kuz is
point?
interesting. They have Kevin Porter Jr. right now at the point guard. I don't think he's played an NBA game in a while either after what happened with him. In
You know, the
previous-
Bucks
in
won their
earlier
chip.
career.
Yeah,
Giannis
exactly.
got
The
his
Bucks
chip.
won,
He-
exactly.
That was
it might be
you know,
time
Yeah.
to move on,
It
but
may
it's,
be
it's
time to
only
move
only
on.
if he requests that trade.
If he goes to the Knicks, man, I could see the Knicks winning.
I'm
being
very
favorites
No,
Let's see
if
what
he,
the
if he,
Knicks
go,
will
if he
have
goes to the
him,
Knicks,
but-
yeah. They'll-
But
Yeah.
the Knicks are gonna have to give up a lot. But
Speaking of the Bucks, I have them at 7.
okay,
I have them just below the Hawks. I have the Pistons at 8 because I do
Alright.
think they'll be good again. I just don't think they're going to be that good again. And obviously, they only had 44 wins last year, and they got the 6th seed. So you can only imagine how these are going to look this year, when who knows how many wins are going to get you where at at that time of the year. I have the Raptors at 9. I feel like if we stay healthy, which is a big concern for the Raptors, is health. If all the guys stay healthy, I think Ingram looks pretty good so far in preseason. Obviously, Scotty Barnes, big year coming up for him to try to get better. RJ Barrett. I feel like they're good enough to make the play-in. Are they going to make any noise in the playoffs? I hope so. I really hope they can.
It'll be
I
really
just-
hard considering
it'll be
they're gonna have
very
to face
hard.
the
and
Knicks or
also
the
they don't
Cavs.
have a lot of it. They don't have much experience.
That's the only thing, too.
Like, that's the
Experience for
issue.
me is the issue with
And
them.
also, like, the Raptors are a great team, but I think this year, if they can make the play-in or the playoffs, that is a success.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you get that,
Just getting that,
experience for
just
the
getting
young
that,
guys.
Again,
that's
the
a success.
playoffs.
and then
100%.
also, you know, you have guys like I love their their young core with Barnes and Barrett and Quickly and Dick and I think they have a great team. You know,
Yeah.
it's, the only thing is like, okay, what are they building here? Right? Are
Mm.
they building a team that has the ability to win championships? Because to me, they're still missing that number one guy. Ingram is not a number one guy on
No.
a championship team. Are they going to try? Are they trying to win a championship in the future? Are they trying to build a dynasty, or are they trying to just be a playoff team? What are they trying to do? Right. That's kind of because I see Ingram moving on eventually to another team where he can actually win a championship instead of just being that number one guy.
Right.
Right.
We'll see how much for them. And then, yeah, that's pretty much rounds up the play. And I have the
Yeah.
Pacers at 10 as well. I think missing Halpern's going to be big, but I feel like they have enough just to get in the play-in in the Eastern Conference. Moving on to the West, I think it's no surprise. Do we all have the Thunder winning?
Yeah.
100%.
The Western
Thunder
Conference, I
winning
think
the
they're
West,
listen, defending champions. They look as good as anyone else in the league right now, and they are the best team in the league, and
I,
they're the
I
best team
think
for a
they're
reason.
just in their own tier.
They
They're
are.
in their
Yeah.
own tier.
Like
yeah.
that just
Yeah.
defensive system that Dagnall has set up. It's just
First in the
insane.
league,
You bring in
NBA
bring in
champions.
Caruso,
Yeah.
Dort, Williams. Everyone does their job.
Shay's good on defense.
She's good. You got
You got
the
the
two-headed
MVP.
monster,
Great bench as well,
Hardenstein
good
and
benches.
Holmgren. That
Yeah.
two-headed.
I don't see anyone topping
They
OKC.
just don't have a
And
weakness.
For me, I have the Rockets.
I
think-
also
think
the
I
Rockets
have the
also,
Rockets
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The addition of KE, I love their young core. They still have Amen Thompson. They were able to retain Amen Thompson, and they have they have a really solid squad. And then third, I have the Lakers. You want to know why I have the Lakers third? Want to know
Who's
why?
that, LeBron.
Luka Doncic MVP season coming
Wow.
up.
Really?
I'm
I can,
calling
you
it
know
right
what?
now.
You know what? I can see that.
I think he's
can
gonna win the
definitely see that
MVP.
happen.
I don't know.
Over the
It's
offseason,
really
he's done
hard
a lot.
because you're sharing spotlight with LeBron,
Yeah.
and LeBron's always gonna take up spotlight and media coverage. I don't know if like he'll get that attention, especially considering like Shea's probably the front runner just because like how good that team is.
Yeah.
They're gonna see the team's finishing first place. He's the star of it all. It's gonna be hard to challenge him.
I think Luka just plain like I don't know, man. He's going into his prime. He's one of the let's remember this guy had a season where he averaged I think 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. You know how good of a season that is?
And didn't win MVP, mind you.
And didn't
Didn't
win
win
MVP.
MVP.
You know how good
That's
of a season
crazy to
that
think
is?
about.
Obviously, his defense is not the greatest. We all know that. But if
Yeah.
he worked on that over the offseason, and if he could be good, and if the Lakers have a good record, like about at least a 3 seed, I think he's MVP. I think he's going to be a big factor in that.
Yeah, I could
And,
definitely see
you
that
know,
happening. He's absolutely unbelievable player.
yeah.
For me, in my 3 spot, I have the T-Wolves, and that
Okay.
leads to my potential long shot MVP prediction. Anthony Edwards.
That I
Guy
could
is
see.
cold-blooded,
Uh,
and he's an absolute killer. And I feel like if they want to go anywhere and actually go and try to win the title, obviously back-to-back conference finals appearances for them, if they want to actually get to the NBA finals and win, it's all going to be on him. And I feel like he's a cold-blooded man, and that guy is
Yeah.
dangerous when it comes to primetime basketball. He is so good. And I have the Lakers at 4. Again, I can definitely see Luka Doncic absolutely tearing up this year. Obviously, LeBron not announced his retirement. He's going to stay one more year at least. We'll see how that goes with the Lakers. But I do think JJ Redick in his first year was very impressive, considering obviously the AD and Luka Doncic trade. Obviously,
That was a
he
shocker.
cut D'Lo mid-season. Like, he's first-time NBA coach. Considering everything that happened around the Lakers for the entire season, I was very impressed with how he did with them. I have the Nuggets at 5, Warriors 6. That rounds up the whole playoffs pretty much. I have the Mavericks with Cooper Flag and obviously Anthony Davis at 7. Obviously, Kyrie Irving's out for a little bit for now with the ACL tear they had earlier. I'm not sure when's going to return, but I do think, Anthony Davis, they have 2 great centers there in Gafford and Lively. Cooper Flag, we'll see how he does. I think they're going to be just fine without him for the time being. And Grizzlies at 8. I feel like the Grizzlies are still a good team. Obviously, they didn't have Ja for all of last year. He's one of the better point guards in the league. He could really pop off this year if he keeps his head in the game and focuses on what he has to do. I think they could be a great team as well. I like a lot of players on their team. I got the Spurs at 9. I think Wemby finally gets a chance to play high pressure playoff basketball, or at least play in basketball.
Right.
And then I got the Clippers, the young squad as they call it, at number 10. Obviously Harden, Beal, Kawhi Leonard. I just feel like they're a bit older now, and I kind of feel like last year was a bit of a fluke for those guys, but I feel they're good enough that they're going to be able to get in the play-in somewhere, and maybe even win a game in the play-in too.
Yeah.
But that's my thing for the West right now. Who do you guys have for potential Rookie of the Year? Is it Flag, or can anyone else? Do you guys think anyone?
I
else
think
stands up
it's
for
got to be Cooper
Yeah,
Flag. Like,
I agree.
Cooper Flag.
Unless
he's gonna be right in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I don't
Unless
know.
this is maybe my long shot for Rookie of the Year would be Dylan Harper.
I
the
can see that
Spurs.
too. I really like
But
Dylan
the
Harper.
only thing is, he's probably gonna be 6-man.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Stephon
to
Castle.
and Fox.
I
Yeah,
love Stephon
correct, yeah.
Castle. The
Castle's
backcourt
Great out
is
of
so
UConn,
good.
yeah.
I
national
like those
champion right there.
guards.
Their backcourt is so good, man, and they got Wemby, and I don't think he's gonna win, but maybe Ace Bailey is a bit of a long shot. But the thing is with Ace Bailey is he's on a Jazz team, and they only have Lauri Markkanen. That's their only
No,
guy. So
I
he
have them
could
last.
he
Like, I
could
just-
win. He could win Rookie of the Year. I don't see him.
But
like,
it's hard to have that kind of production on that team. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't
but
have much help.
Still, like, he's still a skilled player.
To overtake Flag is gonna be
Yeah, I do
Absolutely.
agree. But I think the thing is with Flag is that Kyrie is injured right now, but he's going to be back. They have Kyrie and AD. Kyrie's a ball dominant point guard. He's not really. I mean, he is an ISO point guard. You know, he's able to pass and assist players too, but that's not his first nature, right? He's used to scoring the ball.
Yeah.
So I think with Flag, he's really going to have to make his two-way game his spotlight if he wants to have that big of an impact on the Mavericks. You know, his defense is great. His rebounding is good. His offense is still very good. It's, probably better than his defense, but I just think there won't be as many defensive or offensive opportunities for him this year,
Yeah.
because of the team he's on, right?
That's a good point too. Yeah, it was very interesting to see how that's all going to play out.
Yeah.
Who else do you guys have for your play-in teams?
Well, I'll say that I actually have the Nuggets at 3rd and the Mavericks at 4th. I don't know, Jokic, because they put up a great fight against the Thunder. And then I have the Lakers down at 6. I don't know, LeBron's not getting any younger. I feel like Luka still needs a bit more help there. And then I do have the Spurs taking the next step at the 7th seed. I think Wemby's good. De'Aaron Fox going to have a good season. Castle's going to play great. Then I have the Clippers. They still have the good veterans. Still got Harden. But again, same problem. Like they're not getting any younger. And then I actually have the Warriors slipping out of the top 8 because I don't know. They just don't like. Yeah, Podziemski's looked good, but I don't see the depth there too much.
But they still have Steph Curry.
They have
Oh,
Curry,
Curry,
come on.
but what can he do? He's a shooter.
But
Like
it's still Steph Curry.
I understand. I
He's
think
like a top. We're talking about like a top 15 player.
Yeah,
No
but
debate in NBA history.
tough. Yeah,
You could argue top 10.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, he's 37 years old. Jimmy Butler, we don't know what's happening with him.
Full year of Butler, hopefully, can help him out a little.
If,
bit.
if
I probably
depends on
will.
health, like
That's a good
Yeah.
point too. Yeah, they are older. Yeah,
But I
good
think
point.
the Warriors have a good team. Like I think it's just
Good point.
because we've seen Butler.
think they can
we've
make
seen
the
Butler
playoffs,
drag
but
his
I don't-
team to the finals.
Yeah.
You know, I could see Butler, really putting the team on his back at certain points and saying, "All right, let's go. We're making it." He's
You could
still a
definitely
good
do
two-way
that.
I
player.
just
Butler.
don't
Definitely see
think
that.
because of like their star players being a bit older that they're gonna have that like
Yeah, that's a fair
health
point.
for the whole season.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is they're gonna get into a play-in. They'll play very well. They'll make it, and then they'll have to go up against the Thunder, and it's like kind of
Yeah.
tough luck for them. That's
Yeah.
just.
That's a good point.
But even like last year, they had a bit of a slower start.
Well, they were seventh.
They were
last
they were
year.
seventh,
and
and then they
played the
took
Rockets,
out they took
and
out
they
the
beat
Rockets.
I was not
Their,
surprised
their
that they beat the
exper-
Rockets.
I wasn't surprised either because they had their experience. If they had to play the Thunder, I don't. No, they would not have won that.
That would be the only team that I'd be worried about if I was the Thunder last year. It would have been the Warriors.
Yeah,
because
But even then, I think that
And the
series would have
Celtics, of
ended in
course.
6. A healthy And then I do have the Grizzlies at 10. I really like John Morant's play. Zach Edey, I think, is gonna take a
Yeah.
huge step.
yeah,
Canada boy right there, Zach
Yeah.
Edey.
I mean, he had a pretty good series against the Thunder. Like it was over pretty quick, but I think the Grizzlies will do pretty well. They'll make the play-in at least.
yeah.
They have the Suns just missing out.
I have
do as
I
well.
have the Lakers at 3, as I said, and then the T Wolves at 4. I still like Ant. I like Gobert's defense. It's still really good, and I don't really see many holes in that team overall. Like, yeah, they have a bit of, they don't just kind of lack star power, and then I have the Nuggets at 5. I have the Mavs at 6. I love the addition of Cooper Flag, and I think they're going to be a really good team this year, especially hopefully with a healthy Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then at 7, I have the Clippers. I think they're a bit old, yeah, but they're still a good team. Like, they still have Harden. They still have Kawhi. They still have a guy like Zubac. I
Yeah.
love Zubac. I think he's such
He's
a
a
good
very
center. So
underrated center,
underrated. Such
yeah.
an underrated center. And then at 8, I have the Warriors. I think they're still going to do well. Maybe they won't make the playoffs. I hope they do, though. I love the Warriors.
I think they'll
man.
make it, but like
I
it's
hope
just
Butler gets a
they're
ring.
not a regular season team anymore. Like
Yeah,
they're
I agree.
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
it's just kind of they have to face the Thunder. It's just
Yeah.
kind of tough. Like maybe if they can get up to like a 6th or 5th, which I doubt, they
Yeah.
definitely have a pretty good chance. But I just
Yeah.
what's gonna happen if they make it? They're gonna have to play the Thunder, and it's not gonna work out.
And
for them.
then at 9 and 10, I have the Spurs and Grizz. I love the Spurs, man. I think I could even see them being top 6. Like,
Yeah,
forget
I
this.
can
I
see
could see
that.
them being top 6.
Really?
I don't think that's bold at all. They have Wemby. They got Stephon Castle going to his 2nd year. They have De'Aaron Fox. Is Chris Paul? No, Chris Paul's on the Clippers now.
Yeah.
They're a good team, man. They have such a good team, and I could really see them taking the big jump. Wemby could be
let's not forget
top 5 in MVP voting.
Wembanyama is running away with the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Then he gets hurt. So with a
Yeah.
full
Yeah,
season
yeah.
of him, this guy, I won't say the sky's
They
the limit.
definitely
The
can.
sky's the limit for the
Definitely can.
future, but for this season, they
Yeah,
can definitely.
They are the next
be a top
dynasty
six.
of the NBA after the Thunder. I think the Thunder
think
are
it's-
already.
I think
are
they're
gonna
going to be
dynasty.
battling for years that
Yeah.
conference
Yeah,
championship.
that's gonna be so
I
fun
can
to
definitely
watch.
see the Spurs jumping up. The only
And-
thing is, I just feel that the West is so tight
It
this year.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like, I feel
agree.
like there's one or
The
two
East
years
is a lot
too
more
early.
open. The East
Right.
is a lot
Yeah,
more open.
if they're in
than
the
West,
East, oh,
for sure.
If
Yeah.
they're in the East, they could have definitely been top 6, 100%. But in the West,
yeah.
it's so tight, so much competition in there. I find it very, very hard to see them really break through that much. But I feel like playoffs or play-in at least is the bare minimum for them, and I don't see why they won't get it.
Yeah.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
think we should start wrapping up with our
gonna
with
wrap
our
up with
favorite segment.
Our
I know
favorite segment
Christian's
of all
favorite
time.
segment.
My favorite segment.
Better than I. Christian, we got a big game tonight in Thursday Night Football. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. So the spread for this game, the Steelers are favored by 5.5. I'm going to take them to cover that spread just because Cincinnati's defense has been absolutely atrocious.
Yes.
And the Steelers have been good. They're 4-1. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
has been okay. Metcalf has been playing well. The defense is one of the best in the league, and I don't know how much Joe Flacco can do for the Bengals, the newly acquired quarterback. So I'm going to take the Steelers for to cover the -5.5.
I have for my pick of the 3-leg parlay, I have Aaron Rodgers at 200 plus passing yards. I think he's had a great start to the season. You know, at his age, it's very impressive. So, you know, it's good to see him playing well again, right?
Right.
You know, you want to see that, especially coming off the big injury last year. So, I mean, I think the Steelers are a good team. If they can kind of move out of that fringe playoff team situation, I think they can be a really real threat to the league. And yeah, what do you think,
Yeah.
George?
Listen, this game, I know like Mike Tomlin, obviously so far good start for the Steelers. This is such a Mike Tomlin game to lose.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football in Cincinnati. If there's any game for them to lose, it's probably this one. But I'm not going to go for it. I think this year's team is different for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a DK Metcalf touchdown because he's gotten touches, I'm pretty sure, in the last 4 games they've played right now. And again, like you said earlier, Cincinnati's defense, has not been up to par at all this season, and it hasn't been for the last couple of years now. He's one of the better receivers in the league. I feel like I don't see why he wouldn't get at least 1 touchdown, maybe even 2 this game.
I think one. Like Rodgers is gonna have to target him in the red zone going forward.
No,
and
yeah,
I think
I
this starts
definitely.
tonight.
My bet for me, I was thinking 2, but I'm going to go for just 1 for now. He's got it the last couple of games here. I feel like 1 touchdown for him is going to be absolutely almost guaranteed. I want to put a guarantee on it right now. I want to go Charles Barkley, full Charles Barkley mode right now. I'm not going to say guaranteed, but I do think it will happen. That is going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching episode 2 of the Spread Podcast. I'm George. That's Joseph. That's Christian. We're the Spread Podcast, and we're out.